You don't need a co-founder. Let me say that again. You do not need a co-founder. If you're trying to start a business and build a company, it is better to take the time to find the right person than to rush into something and get the wrong person. Okay, now let's talk about why this is. First of all, when you have a co-founder, you have to make sure that you trust that person, and this is really important. Because if you don't trust that person, if there are arguments and fights about what direction the company should go, who should be hired, who shouldn't be hired, and basically all the big decisions of the company, then it's going to be very hard for you to move forward. So first question you need to ask yourself is, can I trust this person? Can I see myself working with this person day in and day out? Do I know this person well enough? Have we worked together in the past on smaller projects or larger projects? Or is this a brand new situation where we're just meeting for the first time and deciding, let's start a company together? Now, this is not impossible. You can start a company with somebody where you meet for the first time, but this is rare. Now, more than that, when you have a co-founder, you also have to understand that you both have skin in the game. So you both have to be putting in sweat equity. You both have to be putting in money. And if one person puts in more than the other, then there could be resentment. And if one person has more expertise in certain areas than others, then the person that has less expertise may feel like they're not pulling their weight. The way you look at this is that your co-founder needs to be somebody who is not only somebody that you get along with, but somebody that brings skills to the table that complement yours. So if you're a great engineer, maybe they're good at sales or marketing, or maybe they're good at finance and accounting. So you need to kind of look at it from the perspective of what are my weaknesses and what does this person bring to the table that would complement my skill set. The last thing you want is to people who are very similar, because then you're going to end up fighting over who is right and who is wrong and whose idea is better, because you're just going to be constantly arguing with yourself. So you need to make sure that if you do have a co-founder, they complement you well. The second reason that you may not need a co-founder is because there are certain companies where it doesn't make sense to have one. A lot of times when you hear about successful co-founders, it's usually because they were able to come up with an idea that was very innovative, that was very unique. It was a product that solved a major pain point for a large group of people. Think about Apple, think about Microsoft, think about Facebook. In these cases, these companies were started by one or two people that had a vision, and they were able to execute on that vision, and they were able to grow that vision into a massive company. However, not every company is like this. Sometimes you have companies that are just solving very small problems. And so it's very easy to solve those problems either by yourself or with a small team. And so if you're starting a very small business, maybe it's a service-based business, maybe it's a product-based business, but it's serving a very niche market, then in that case, you don't necessarily need a co-founder. You can probably do it by yourself. In fact, I did this with my first business. My first business was a software-as-a-service business that helped personal trainers manage their clients and their scheduling and their billing and all that stuff. And I was able to build that whole platform by myself. I was able to launch that whole platform by myself and run that whole business by myself for many years. And I didn't have any co-founders. In fact, I still don't have any co-founders today. Now, it has just grown into this huge company where we have hundreds of employees and we're doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, but it's still just me. There's no co-founder, and the reason that I share this is because sometimes less really is more. And oftentimes when you bring on a co-founder, you're actually introducing a lot of problems that may not have been there before. And so you need to make sure that you weigh the pros and cons. Think about what type of business you're building, think about the size of the market, think about how big this opportunity is, and whether you can realistically do it by yourself. And sometimes you can. If you can do it by yourself, then why bring somebody else on to share the equity with? Why bring somebody else on to potentially cause problems with? So make sure that you think through that. Make sure that you have a really good idea of what you're doing before you bring on a co-founder. The third reason that you may not need a co-founder is because you might be able to hire somebody instead. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier, where if you're a great engineer and you're good at building products and building technology, but you're not good at the marketing side, you're not good at sales, you're not good at finance and accounting, then you may be able to hire somebody to fill those roles. And then if you have a good relationship with that person and if you trust that person, then that person can almost act like a co-founder without actually being a co-founder. They're just an employee, so if you can find somebody that you can trust, that you get along with, that has the same vision as you, then maybe you don't need a co-founder. Maybe you just need to hire somebody that is really good at their job, and that person can help you scale your business without having to give up any equity. And without having to worry about whether or not this person is pulling their weight, whether or not this person is putting in the same amount of work as you are. So hopefully this helps you guys think through whether or not you need a co-founder. Look, if you can find a co-founder, that's great. But don't settle for just anybody. Don't settle for just somebody that you know, oh, they have a lot of connections, or oh, they know a lot of people, or oh, they have a lot of money. If you're gonna bring somebody on as a co-founder, make sure that they bring skills to the table that complement your skill set. Make sure that you trust that person and make sure that you know that they gonna not put in the work necessary to help you succeed. Otherwise, it's better to just do it by yourself. There's no shame in that. In fact, I think that most successful entrepreneurs started their businesses by themselves. So don't be afraid to go out there, take some risks, go after some big dreams and do it on your own. You don't need a co-founder. I hope this video helps you guys out. If you want to learn more about startups, more about entrepreneurship, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have tons of free videos that can help you take your business to the next level. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching.